Hi, welcome to Undead Yarn. This is episode 108. My name is Heidi, and you can find me as Nitty Girl on Ravelry and Undead Yarn everywhere else, like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. How is everybody doing? I hope y'all are doing well. It's been a while, and I do have an important announcement to make, but I will make that towards the end of the podcast. I only have one work in progress right now. I have done a little bit of knitting on some other things, but really this is mostly what I've been knitting on. I've been working on my Chevron Cloud, which is by Espes Tricot, and I am really enjoying it. Yes, I do have mistakes, but you know what? The mistakes that are in the mohair, I don't want to rip out because I've ripped it out before. I think I told y'all that when I ripped it out, I had to throw some of the yarn away. So I am going to avoid that. And if I have little holes, I will just go back and repair them. Let's see. I have, what is it? This is Woodland. Naturally Woodland 12 ply. Amazing that it's 12 ply. It's so thin. Of course, it's considered a bulky weight, like a lot of these yarns are. Or maybe it's, I don't know. It's very skinny to me. It looks like a lace weight, and I think that's what most of these mohair yarns are. And the other yarn is yarn I ripped out from a sweater that has like Angora and wool and probably some nylon in there. And that's just, they're both yellow. They're both a yellow yarn. This is looking paler than it actually is. It's more, they're both, well, this one is definitely more golden, but it's basically a gold color. It's really pretty. And I have it in a bag I bought from Inskein Yarns. I'm not sure who made the bag, but it's awesome. It's really pretty big. And this project uses a lot of yarn. So I'm glad that I have this bag, and I actually really like it. Kind of suits me, huh? With all skulls. Oh, and I still have my little Ninja Chickens pin on it. If you can see that. Okay, so that's the only thing that I've really been working on. As you guys know, I've been very busy at work, and yeah, this year's been pretty crazy. So I'm going to be getting back to dyeing soon because I do have a show coming up. And I'll talk about that towards the, well, no, let's talk about it now. It's in June, and I'm going to be at Houston Fiber Fest. And it is, I don't know the exact dates. I know it's towards the end of June, but I don't know the exact dates off the top of my head. I want to say that it is the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. I think those are the dates. So that's where my next show will be. And I do have a bunch, well, three, not a bunch, three. Maybe that's a bunch. I have 3 finished objects. One of them is in Round Table Yarns, and you guys have seen this. These are my knee heights I've been working on for a while. I finally finished them. And I can't really put them on sock blockers because they're too long for the blockers. And I wore them. I wore them before I showed you guys. So I had to go dig these out of the laundry pile. But I'm very happy with them. Karen does a good job with the self-striping. It's nice. The yarn is nice. I like the colors. They're a little more, there you go. By getting close, you can see them more. That's better. You can see they're pretty solid colors. They're just more pastel, but I really enjoyed making these, and they're so comfy. I love them. And the other pair I finished were the ones that were non-superwash that I was trying out. These flew off the needles because they're in worsted weight yarn. And I wore them once because it has not been that cold, although today is making a run for it. It's in the 50s, so maybe these will go on my feet after the podcast. These are the Cumbria socks I was making. And I've worn them, and they are so cozy. It's a beautiful color. It's like a brown cinnamon color. I just love them, and I have another skein of yarn in that gold color. You know, these are some of my favorite colors. I love brown, orange, and gold, and I really love fall yarns, fall colored yarns. So these are, so far, I've only worn them once, but I'll let you guys know. I'm gonna do a wear test on them, see how long I can wear them. Like if I can wear them as long as other socks, these might become, this yarn could become one that I buy often, because I do like the colors that they dye in this. Let me see. I'll look on my last podcast to see what it's called. It's called Cumbria, and I believe it's from Fiber or something. I don't remember, but you can look on my Ravelry page because I have posted them on my Ravelry page. And of course, these are the sock blockers from Danielle. You know, I use these every podcast. I've talked about them before. They're wonderful. And my other finished object, I was going to bring this to Houston, but one of the colorways in it was a special colorway that I dyed for Down syndrome awareness. So I will probably be posting the pattern at some point because it's really, really simple. And I think I'm going to be making a lot of shawls like this because I love the size. It's huge. But I feel like I should not be dyeing kits for this because not all of the colorways. This top one was a mistake of the Down syndrome awareness. The yellow right here is that's the actual Down syndrome awareness colorway, and this one was one that was going to be the Down syndrome awareness colorway. So I don't feel like I should sell these as a kit because I don't want to take away from the fact that I use the colorway for Down syndrome awareness. But this is the second shawl I've knit like this. I think this may be kind of a go-to pattern for me for shawls. It's very simple, so I'm not going to charge for it. I would not be surprised if somebody else has posted or done something similar. The only thing that would probably be different is the way I did the bind off. I did a little bit of an edging, and I still have to block it. That's another thing. So I'll probably show this again next podcast after I've blocked it. But yeah, I'm going to write it up, and I'm not going to make it a pay-for pattern because I don't feel like it's that complicated. But it is wonderful. I use 3 skeins of yarn, all fingering, and throughout I just randomly switched them. And I did, at the beginning, I started to kind of do a fade. You can tell right here, I kind of did a fade. But then I decided I was just going to randomly do the stripes. And I really love it. I think it's beautiful. I have a big shawl in my own yarn, and I love it, and it's cozy. I just need to weave in the ends and block it. Well, block it and then weave in the ends. So those are my finished objects. Oh, and I have one more thing that I'm going to be sending on to my friend Katie this weekend because she is the next person on the list to get Ginger, the traveling sock. And I put on my own colorway. I think I'm going to have to weave in some ends from the last color and I'll do like they did. I left a stem, but this is my Killer in the Home colorway. At the top, after the yellow, this is my Killer in the Home colorway. And I use that for the sock. This is, I believe, going to be a big, long tube sock. This part started at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and a bunch of these yarns were knit by other podcasters. I know, let's see, who else is on here? I know Woolen Vine is on here, and let's see, who else? I know there's some people that I know from South Texas are on here. Let's see, who else? Brownberry knit on it. Who else? My friends from River City Knits, Enid and Elisa, and my friend Amanda from Lone Star Arts knit on it. So it's making its way. It started out in the UK, and it's making its way through Texas right now. Like I said, I'm going to be handing it off to Katie Metzroth, and it's going to go from there. I think this one is going through the United States. I believe there are 2 of them that are traveling, and I think the other one's going through Europe and Asia, I think. I'm not sure. I know there are 2 that are going, and I think we're making a big long tube sock. So it'd be interesting to see what it looks like at the end. It's kind of fun. It's traveling. Different people are knitting on it. You can knit with whatever yarn. And that was started by Socks on the Beach UK. That's her handle on Instagram. So if you are interested, I'm not sure if they're still taking people's names to send it to or not, but you can look on her Instagram feed to find out information about whether or not she's still taking people if you would like to be a part of this. I think it's kind of fun. Next thing I want to talk about is Dallas-Fort Worth Fiber Festival. I took 2 classes when I was there. I took a broomstick lace class, and I haven't crocheted in a while, so it's kind of tricky for me. I did take broomstick lace before, so I wanted to refresh. I thought maybe I would use it. I'm not sure that I'm going to use it now. I think I would really have to sit down with crochet again to relearn the technique, because I really feel like my last class I took, I had been doing crochet a lot more often, and I feel like I did a lot better then than I did now. So I'm like, I don't know. I really do like broomstick lace. I think it might be cool to put on the top of an outfit or the bottom of an outfit. You can do a whole outfit with it, but I think what I would do if I did that would be a vest. I wouldn't do a whole garment. Not at this point, because I don't feel like my skills are that great with it. I have to go back and do it again. I do think I need some practice with it. And I wanted to go ahead and show you guys some of the stuff I got at DFW Fiber Fest. At this point, I guess I'll tell you, Houston Fiber Fest is probably going to be my last big show that I do. Unless anything comes to Austin, I'm mostly going to be doing online sales and possibly trunk shows, but I really, I'm going to be 50 at the end of the year, and it takes a toll on you when you do dyeing. It's a very physical job, and dyeing for these big shows is it's very labor intensive. And not only that, my job right now is it's hard. I'll just say it, it's hard. I like it. I've done it for a really long time. I'm in this is my 21st year being a speech therapist or a speech pathologist, and I really like it. It's just, as you get older, your body changes, and I think people are starting to talk about it, but they don't talk about all the aches and pains and ways your body betrays you as you get older. And I'm at that time of life, and I'm kind of rethinking everything. I love dyeing. You guys know it. That's my passion, and I really have not been able to do it that much this year, and it upsets me. But dyeing for these big shows is very stressful. So unless they have a big show in Austin where I wouldn't have to travel, Houston Fiber Fest will probably be my last big show that I do. And it kind of feels like a weight's lifted off. You don't have to do this, You have a job that pays the bills. This is my passion. I love it. I love having this business. It's just, it can't be the primary thing for me right now. So that's where I am. I'm planning to dye up a storm for this show, so I hope to see some of you guys there. But I will still be doing online stuff, and I am so into this 80s thing. I have a bunch of colorways in my head. I just have not been able to sit down and do it. But school will be over in about 3 weeks, so cool. So I decided, since I'm going to be doing less of the bulk dyeing, I will probably go back to showing you guys what kind of stuff I've bought on top of what I'm knitting, and talking more about other podcasts, and sharing some more information about other things that I'm doing. So that's kind of where I am right now. I'm going to grab this big, huge bag behind me. Oh, and I also need to talk about the winners, but I will do that at the very end of the podcast. I also did take a class from Franklin Habit I just think he is a lovely person. I took the history of lace, and I love history, and I love learning about knitting history, and it was really interesting and fun, and you know, he always makes everything fun. He's funny, and he's just, I just think he's a really great guy, and I love taking his classes. So yeah, if you've never taken a class from him, it's well worth it. So now into stash enhancement. This was the bag. This bag, y'all, is so sturdy. It's huge. It has a zipper on it. Oh, it has a zipper on it. Like, there's a pocket in the front. This is just, they have the best stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I bought. This is one thing I got in the mail later, and she tells me she still needs to put a handle on it, but I was using it for my shawl project, so I haven't sent it back yet. But this is by the Bay Yarn Co., and I love the orange. It's a very sturdy material. I'm kind of hoping, I'll have to ask her, but I'm kind of hoping that I can put it in the wash because I put it down on top of something and it's got stains all over it. So it feels like it's canvas. I'm guessing I can put it in the washing machine. Cross my fingers. So that was one of my purchases, and this is the large size bag. And I love, like, these are nice and sturdy, this. And then there's also going to be a handle, and I believe the handle is also canvas, so it's a sturdy bag. And since I'm starting to knit 3-color shawls, I'll probably be using it quite a bit. This, Leon Alexander does some really cool colors. They like neons like I do. So oh, this is so pretty. Not everybody, well, there actually is a decent amount of fiber at DFW Fiber Fest, but a lot of it's natural. But I really like his dyeing techniques, so I got this one, and it has sparkle in it. So let me see, it is called Carnival is the colorway, and it's 80/20 Superwash Merino and Selena. And is that not beautiful? I think it is. I love these beautiful bright colors. And I have the feeling this is going to be a lot of fun to spin. And I'm waiting in July. I'm going to get my little mini eel wheel. I have an eel wheel. I have a wheel. I'm getting a mini eel wheel. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be purple. Cool. And then Fiber Optics. I went a little nuts in her booth. She had, I guess she's discontinuing doing separate skeins for gradients. She's going to try to do them all in one. So this is a Fiber Optic gradient paint box, and it was on sale. Look at that. $20, y'all. I looked at it and I was like, that's beautiful. And I picked it up and I was like, $20? That's going in my cart. Let's see what else I got from her. I also bought this. I saw this from, like, I was on the other side of the booth. She had a big booth. And I saw this and I was like, oh my God, I have to have that. It's so pretty. And then I saw the name and that just, it got me. It's called Prism Break. How awesome is that? So this is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. This is going to have to be a shawl. And apparently she encourages you to make, I think I'm going to take one of these colors that's already in there and look through my stash or dye something to go with it so that I have a solid. And then this is a gradient. This is called, well, I told you what it was called. This is a gradient. So I think it would be beautiful if I had a solid to go with the gradient and did them back and forth, because this has a lot of yardage in it. But I am really getting into these big shawls. This has 420 yards, but if I paired this with another 400 yard shawl, 400 yard skein, that would make it a lot bigger. So this is awesome, Prism Break. And there was one other thing I bought from them. Let's see if I can find it without making too much noise. BFL and Tussa Silk, Once in a Lifetime. Named after, I believe it's after the Talking Heads song. But look at the colors. I think it looks like maybe this was a gray BFL. Sorry about the crinkling. I don't know if you can tell how brilliant they are. They're very bright. You probably can't tell right here. Let me get closer. They're very, very, that's it. It's beautiful. This is making me really, I'm looking at this stuff, I'm like, I need to pull out my wheel. This year has just been really crazy for me, so that's where I am. So let's see what else I got. I also bought from 100 Ravens. Y'all probably heard they had their truck stolen, so I wanted to support them. They did get some of the yarn back thanks to a Good Samaritan who found it at Habitat for Humanity. This is called Fox, and this is merino, yak, and nylon. I really love the way that the yak dyes up because it starts out as a brown, but look at that. It's just beautiful. The gold and the red, it just is beautiful. So I'm looking forward to that, knitting that. So that was, I wanted to support them. I'm very glad they got their, well, they didn't get everything back. They didn't get their trailer back, but DFW raised almost enough money for them through a, I don't remember what website they used, but a lot of people donated money and they raised almost enough for them to buy a new trailer, which is amazing. Y'all, knitters are great. Oh, Mustache. I got I got 4 skeins of yarn from Mustache, but hey, when you can get it without having to pay shipping, why not, right? This one I was looking for. There were 2 of them that I knew I wanted. I knew I wanted her new colorway for St. Patrick's Day. This one, which is 100% Irish. And this one is 75-25 merino nylon, 460 yards. And this one is a perfect must-match skein. This one I also knew I wanted. I'm planning at some point, I don't know when. I feel like I plan stuff and I want to do stuff and it just doesn't get done lately. But anyway, I want to make a sock arm shawl. And I was looking at her kits online and I found this colorway that I thought was, well, my friend Katie actually found the colorway because she's a big Mustache fan. And when she found it, I was like, yes, I do need that. This is Bohemian. And Stacy said it should be enough for me to knit at least 3/4 sleeves. She said I should even have some left over for 2 3/4 sleeves. So I was thinking maybe I would dye a solid color to go with it. But I might look through Stash. We'll see. I have a lot of, y'all, I have a lot of yarn, not just this. This, like most of this is full of yarn. But I have a thing upstairs mostly full of yarn. And then I have bins all over my my room. I have like a little small yarn shop. So I probably have something that will match that. And then these 2 I just happened to see. And this one I had to get because y'all know I love the oranges and browns. And so this one I got is a mini skein because it wasn't one I was planning to get. So this is a smaller skein, and that's the other thing I like about Dallas Fort Worth. She brings a lot of her smaller skeins, so if you just want to make shorty socks or a smaller project, you can. This one is 50 grams, and this is pumpkin spice, I believe. Yes, pumpkin spice. And this one I saw, and I had to have it too, but I wasn't planning, so I got a smaller skein. This one, I believe, yeah, it's Yellow Submarine. It's beautiful. It has these blue and yellow stripes. And y'all, you know, I don't know what it is, but lately, you know, my shawl I just knit, I knit 2 shawls with these, well, blues and yellows. It's a thing right now for me. Let's see, what else did I get? Oh, from my friend Amanda, Lone Star Arts. Y'all, you have to watch her website. She makes these awesome yarn bowls. They're great. You put your thing in there while you're knitting. It won't go anywhere. It's like the perfect size. It fits it perfectly and it still can pull out and move. So I could actually, if I wanted to, I could probably do it either way. But I like this pattern. I wanted the blue bonnet one, but she didn't have the blue bonnet material this time, so I picked this one. And look, it folds up. She had them folded up like this with a ribbon around them. How cute. So Lone Star Arts makes some good yarn bowls. And then I have not tried Moon Tower Dye Works, although I do know her and I have met her before. And this skein really spoke to me because it's got like every color ever. Oh no, I got Bella hair on that. How did that happen? Maybe she was sticking her head in my bag, my DFW bag. Moon Tower Dye Works, look how gorgeous that is. Isn't it lovely? And it's called Alien Moon. I didn't even look at the name. I just picked it up, but the moon, even that's cool. Look at that. It's got like every color under the rainbow in there. I just love that. And this one is her Triton sock, and it's 75.25, 460 yards. This one is gonna probably be socks. It just screams socks to me. So pretty. Then I wanted to try, Teeny Button is one of the few people who has been carrying this base that a lot of, I know about the base, but I have not used it yet. And I wanted to try the cotton, her cotton base, which one is the cotton? This one. This is called Breezy Fingering. It's 50% merino and 50% cotton. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I don't know yet. If y'all have ideas, let me know. It is a sock yarn, and it has 436 yards, so it's got a lot of yards, but I don't think I want to make socks with this. I don't know. I have made socks with yarn that had cotton in it, but it also had nylon. This does not have any nylon, so I don't know that that is the way to go. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Unless I can find some other cotton yarn to mix it with, it might have to be its own project. And then I wanted to try some of her other yarns. So this is another 75.25. I just like this color. Purple. Look at that. It's really pretty. And this one's just a 75.25. So I got some from Teeny Button. And I'm down to the... Well, no, I'm not completely down to the bottom, but this one, I love Ellie from Savvy Skein. She's such a nice person, and she and her daughter are just lovely. And her son comes a lot too. And I was just talking to them, because my friend Tania was also helping in their booth, and I saw this color, and I don't normally buy, I don't have a lot of merino silk. This is 50-50 merino silk, and I just thought the colors popped. It reminds me of one of my own colorways, but I think there's something is a little bit different about it. I don't think it has the green in it. Yeah, and it has different blues and orange in it. Look at the sheen. Silk is so beautiful. So I bought something from Savvy Skeins. And okay, I'm getting near the bottom. South by Southwest, I don't know why this... Oh, I remember why this bag is in there. My husband told me that this bag was made from ash. Like the design was made from ash in India. They're trying to figure out ways to get rid of some of the stuff they don't need, but make it useful. I guess, I don't know if they burn a lot of things. Maybe that's where it came from. But I thought that was interesting, and I think there's still some other stuff on the bottom down here. Here's my badge. And I got a press badge since I am a podcaster. And they had a big podcaster meetup with the Grocery Girls, and basically everybody was there to see them. I kind of showed up towards the end because I know I've been to DFW Fiberfest several times, and usually the podcaster meetup is really tiny. But I figured if it was the Grocery Girls that were going to be there were going to be tons of people. So I just kind of showed up towards the end and saw some of my friends who are also podcasters. Night Owl Fibers, you might know her, and her mom. So I kind of caught up with them. And I did find a new podcast I had not heard of that, when I tell you what it is, you're going to know why I wanted to watch it. It's called Crime Scene Knits. Yes, she has something to do with crime scenes. I can't remember what her job is, but she does talk about them on her podcast. Interesting, guys. Not all the time. Like, she had a couple podcasts that were just about knitting. Mostly they were DFW Fiberfest ones, but yes, I think I'm getting close to the bottom here. I did go ahead and buy the colorway that was Brazen Stitchery that was inspired by Tracy and why can't I think of their names? The Grocery Girls. Of course, the Grocery Girls, the ones who did the big podcast. This one is called Georgia Word Podcasting. I had no idea what it was because I don't really watch their podcast that much, but they said that the daughter's name is Georgia, and I guess she tried to interrupt once, and so I said, Georgia, we're podcasting. But I really like the stripes in this. You can probably go on her website or go to her Instagram to see what they knit up like. So I decided to get it because I really kind of dig how they did. It's kind of like the Inversibles that Fiber Nymph does. It's got like stripes, fat and skinny on one side with one color, and then reverse colors, fat, skinny on the other. So I'm actually looking forward to knitting that up. I think that's going to be really fun. This will definitely be socks. And then I bought a book. I wanted to go to Brooklyn Tweed, and I bought a book because Brooklyn Tweed, that's the first time they were there. I thought that was really cool. I bought this book, and it's by Olga. It's a whole book with Brooklyn Tweed Knits yarn, but it's done by Olga Jazzy, and Olga Jazzy is going to be at SSK this year. So I was really drawn to this new color in Loft. It's beautiful. It's like black with speckles of yellow and orange. It's just gorgeous. It's Targhee and Columbia, and you guys know I'm really interested in different mixes of wool. The only thing about Loft is that it's, in general, I don't know if they're all woolen spun, but most of them are, and so you need a project that will deal with that well. And there's a mitts. I don't know if I marked it in here. There's a pattern in here for mittens that I thought was really cool, and I really wanted to use this yarn. So I was going to try to knit this for the SSK knit along, but I do not have enough time because I think the teacher knit along maybe already is done. So I didn't have the time to do that, but this is the pattern. Doesn't that look fun? It doesn't look hard. You know, guys, in general, I really do love the way lace looks, but as I get older, I just want easy. I want easy and relaxing, and those look amazing. So I want to knit those with this yarn, and I'm actually really excited that they were there. I have not bought a lot of their yarn, but every time I see their pattern books, they're just so classy and beautiful. They get really good designers. They're just gorgeous. So I'm looking forward to, maybe I'll knit this at SSK. That would be kind of fun. So I could show her what I'm knitting. And I think that might be it. There is something else in here. Oh, this is stuff from my broomstick lace class. Oh, I won something. That's what it was. I forgot. I won this thing. It's called Reinvented Broomstick Lace. Oh, maybe that's where I was. That's where I was. But they gave me this, and they came into class, and in each class somebody would get a prize. I don't know what this is. It looks like it's something to put your needles in. And it looks like it's 3D printed. To put maybe your tapestry needles in, and then they gave me this this is cute. I really like this. I'm not a big crocheter, but I think even knitters would enjoy a card like this. Any day spent crocheting is a good day. And it looks like they have other designs. They're made by Chigu. Oh, that's kind of cool. Chigu makes these cards. So you can buy cards from Chigu. And then this, I'm glad I got. I love having these. This has all the yarn, knitting needle conversion chart from UK to Canada, US, which is very helpful. And then it has the needle gauge. I always need a needle gauge because most of the needles I have, I gave away all my DPNs at my last knitting group because I don't use them at all. And most of the needles I have do not have the number on them. Chigu does, but also, as you get older, it's hard to read those little teeny tiny baby numbers on a silver needle, and you're trying to turn it to find it. needle gauge helps. So I believe, let me see, I'm going to look through, but I do believe that was the rest of what I got while I was there. They did give us, the Fiber Seed gave us a sample of their yarn in the bag. And then DFW gave us these really cool bottle openers. And look, I haven't used it yet. Is that supposed to be? I don't know what that's supposed to be. But it's also a bottle opener. Oh, and here's, yes, look at that. That is so cool. They come up with the coolest things. And I'm not sure what, look at that, guys. A knitting light. Oh my God. You guys think of everything. I hadn't even looked at this really. I just saw it's a little bottle opener face. Oh my God, that's so cool. And they also gave us these pens that, I don't have my pen because it's upstairs because it's a good pen. They, like, I don't know what it is, but they always have a pen that's good. Like, I can write on my labels, my yarn labels with it. It's hard to find a good pen that will write on the labels because it's not regular paper. It's like cardstock. But, yeah, so I always keep those pens upstairs where I label my yarn. And the pen is, it's got a stylus on one end. And not only can you write with it, you know, you can use it to sign stuff on the square. And you flip it, and it friggin' holds your phone up like this. How awesome is that? I don't know how they come up with these ideas, but they're really cool. So I believe that is about everything. I'm trying to make sure I get all the stuff that I wanted to tell you about in here on the podcast. Oh, they also gave us this, which is cool. This, oh, Miss Babs did this. Miss Babs gave everybody a tape measure, which is cool. I can always use another tape measure. I'm going to throw all those tape measures I have into all kinds of different things. And, oh, I forgot about this. They gave us this little tool that, I know this is handy for if you are knitting socks and you have to go back and get a stitch that you dropped. Look, you can take this. It's a little small tool. One side is like a knitting needle, and one side is a crochet hook. And I guess I didn't know Susan Bates makes these. But this is very handy. Man, Dallas, I'm telling you, that is probably one of the best Fiber Fests, well, besides Sock Summit, that I've ever been to. Every year, they just get better. They're more innovative. They are always trying new things. They give you quality people there. If you have not been and you wanted to try an event like your first time, it doesn't even have to be first time. It's an amazing event. They had really big vendors this year, not just the locals, but I mean, our locals are really awesome. I always buy from them, but we also had people that I didn't buy from, but probably because I used to buy from them online. Like Canon Hand Dyes was there. Who else was there? That was one of the big ones. Miss Babs, of course, is huge. And I don't know, there were several that were very big name people that were there. So I am very lucky that that is in not too far from me. Unfortunately, I will not be able to vend there because it's during the school year. And like I said, kind of coming to terms with getting older. And realizing my limits. So that's where I am right now. I did want to say that the FO thread winner, and I will tag her because I've always tagged the people who do FOs in my yarn, is Hook for Life. And she was so sweetly did the virus shawl for me with my Stardust colorway. And the virus shawl is by Julia Marquardt. So she is the winner of a $7 or less pattern. So Tania, let me know what pattern you'd like. And then the finisher Frogget winner is Shirley Knits from Virginia, and she just recently added on into our group. So thank you for joining the group, Shirley. I also wanted to mention that I won a pattern from Doc Firewoman, my friend that I had talked about, Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal. She and Historian Knits have a knit-along called I Like Big Shawls and I Cannot Lie, and I put my first big shawl in there, and this one that I just finished is going to need to go in there too, into that thread, because that is becoming my thing, knitting huge shawls. And I also wanted to mention that autism awareness is still going on in the Pinhook and Needles group. They are wonderful ladies, and it's a good cause. So if you'd like more information about autism, or if you have brightly colored yarns that you'd like to knit into something, you should go take a look at their group and their podcast. And just since I'm sitting here, I'm curious if anybody has, I have a couple of ideas, but I'm not sure which pattern I'm going to choose. This Stardust colorway came a little bit different than it should. So I decided to keep it for myself. There's 3 skeins and they're sparkle. And it's fingering weight. And I'm thinking about making a t-shirt. But I don't know which pattern I'm going to use. I want something simple. I do know there are a couple patterns. I like V-necks, so there's one that's a V-neck I might do. There's also another one I saw that has garter stitch on the sleeves and around the neck and around the button band, or not the button band, the bottom, that I think would lay nicely because of the garter stitch, so I'm thinking about that. But if you have any suggestions, let me know either down below on YouTube, or you can send me, or you can message me on Ravelry. I will put a link up to post where to find this podcast. So thank you guys so much. I'm looking forward to getting a lot more knitting done now since school's almost over. And usually in the summer I try to podcast more, so I'm gonna try to do that. Anyway, get busy knitting or get busy dying.